Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling. You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Games of the Decade. We are doing the countdown and we've already done the first 25. So if you didn't listen to 100 through 76, you can go back in the feed. This is why subscribing is great because you get it all right there. So if you haven't done so, subscribing will get you that previous episode where we ranked 100 to 76 of the Games of the Decade. The same trio from the last show is here. So I'm your host, Sean Garmer, here with me, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
And also here, Jens Dietrich.
Glad to be back. Hey, Sean.
All right. Yes, glad that we're all here. So, and this will pretty much be how it is for the rest of the 75 to 1, it'll be us three doing this. So, yeah, on this episode, we're going to do 75 to 50. So we're going to pick 26 more games to slot in certain numbers. And then, obviously, we got 2 more shows to go. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm not going to recap. It takes too much time. You guys can go listen to the other show for that. But, alright, let's start. What are we doing with 75? What do you think should go there?
Should we read the list as we've got it currently?
Alright, so yes, let's go ahead and I guess maybe we can also talk about if there's any games above this that we want to move down or any games we want to move up too. So, I guess the ones that we had slotted in this number during those rankings that we did, let's go ahead and put through this. Hellblade, Neo, Rainbow Six Siege, StarCraft 2, Hearthstone, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Saints Row the Third, Fallout New Vegas, Spelunky, Bastion, Fortnite, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Dead Space 2, Tetris 99, Wolf Among Us, Overwatch, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Final Fantasy 14, FTL, Outer Wilds, Final Fantasy 14 and Realm Reborn, should say, FTL, Outer Wilds, Outer Worlds, Undertale, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Limbo, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Yep. So that's from the bottom up what you just did.
Yeah, 75 to 50. I definitely think Elder Scrolls should be higher.
Okay, Elder Scrolls is going to ascend?
Yes.
Okay, so let's move Elder Scrolls up for now. Is there anything else that we think is placed too low?
I think maybe, I think Undertale and maybe Galaxy 2 could be a little higher.
I could see Galaxy 2 being higher. I haven't played Undertale. I mean, it's already...
I would definitely say
Undertale's pretty well ranked, like kind of near the top of this list currently.
It could go a little higher, I think. The rest of it... And I also think, like, I know everybody's going to hate me, but I still think Fortnite could go a little higher than 50.
I don't know.
But
no.
I just because it's the current fad.
I know it's not just the current fad, though. Like, a lot of things that we're seeing become, the way we do continuous content in gaming is partly because of Fortnite.
Under Siege, Rainbow Six Siege has that too. Like a lot of games do. Like the only game on this list that I could see going up, like at least higher on this between 75 and 50, is StarCraft 2, maybe Dragon Ball, like maybe like a few spots higher than like Saints Row.
I think StarCraft 2 between 50 and 75.
Like 50.
Oh, okay. I'll say Saints Row, and that's it.
I don't know about Saints Row going above 50.
I think Saints Row should probably be near the top of this current list, but I don't think Saints Row is going to get into the the top 50 games of this.
Final Fantasy 14, I feel like needs to be
down.
Okay.
My proposal is that Spec Ops The Line at number 39 is way too high.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I do think Final Fantasy 14 maybe needs to move up past 50.
Okay, that one I could see, since that's a huge and beloved and notable game with a fascinating kind of story of, starting out busted and then being just continually iterated on until it is maybe the biggest MMO right now.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention all the other things that it has that make it great besides its comeback story.
All right, I've moved Spec Ops The Line down. What else in our top 50?
So we moved up 4. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get that one.
We moved up 4 so far, and we moved only one down.
4, so we've moved up 4 and moved down 1, so we need to move 3 more down.
I'd say Batman Arkham City.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, that
Totally
one's just one place above, so you could easily move that down a few.
Yep.
I might say Celeste.
No. I think that could go in like the 40s or something like that.
How about, Mark, you just finished Star Wars Fallen Order. Does Star Wars Fallen Order belong in the top 50?
Yes.
The top 50 games?
It is like
really?
the one good EA game they've made in the past.
You don't even like Souls-likes.
That's why me saying yes should be more impactful, because I don't like them, and this is a good one of those, or this is a good game.
I think Mario Maker could go down.
I think Mario Maker is pretty incredible, revolutionary, and the best Wii U
it's
game.
not like we've never had a Maker game before. This is just a Super Mario Maker.
We have, but all those have been bad.
Not necessarily. There's some RPG makers that aren't terrible.
I was thinking like Little Big Planet. Like, I never liked any of those.
I think the first Mario Maker is pretty unmatched still. I mean, Mario Maker 2 has not come anywhere close to it in terms of goodness. So,
I mean, I can see like maybe Rocket League moving down.
I don't know.
What about Death Stranding? Does it really need to be that high?
Way too high.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's move Tetris Effect down.
Or I could see Horizon Zero Dawn. And I say that as like I like that game, but I remember nothing about it except for like the ending.
What about a Link Between Worlds?
I didn't play it, so
no, I don't think that would. That's regarded as one of the best kind of Zelda. That's just a great Zelda game. I feel a little iffy about moving that. Horizon Zero Dawn also has a huge fan base. I thought it was merely good. To me, it's like kind of the Ubisoft open world formula, but slightly better. But
Horizon?
I know that, Horizon, but I know
I really don't see that. I would actually really disagree with that sentiment.
Okay, well, to me that's what it is. It's still you climbing towers and, doing little minor environment puzzles and hunting things.
The towers move, man.
Okay, sure. Titanfall 2 is way too high. Okay, but
no, Titanfall 2 it could at least go in the 40s to 30s or something.
Right, it's not going to move down below 50, so that's...
What about Alan Wake?
I think it should be in the top 50.
Okay. What about Super Meat Boy?
No, I would rather move like Inside or Limbo below that.
Well, Limbo's already in that.
Limbo's
in that.
I would move Inside below Super Meat Boy.
Well, it is technically.
Yeah.
Well, further down.
That's all later. You really think should Inside move into the bottom 50? I don't know if it should.
I don't think so. But we got to pick something though. That's the problem we have here. We got to pick. Does Death Stranding really need to be that high? I don't know why we. I know, but like, are all these 2019 games? Are we gonna get? There's no recency bias here. Also, I mean, we're also like remembering we just left 2019. All these games can't be that great. I mean, like Resident Evil 2 definitely stay. I mean, maybe not where it is, but definitely below or above the 50. But like, I don't know that every single one of these needs to be above 50. I know some of them are already in that range that I just listed them, but you know.
Well, you know my bias is I'd want to move God of War out of here.
No way.
Just because you haven't played it. I mean, yeah.
Because it's a God of War game.
Yeah,
it's not like any of the other God of War games at all.
It's an actual good one. Like,
okay, how about this? So I love Hotline Miami. I could live with Hotline Miami being further down.
Yeah, that is a good soundtrack, and I like the gameplay, but it's repetitive to an extent, especially if you get stuck at a certain point. Like it's like
I think the level designs are good enough where it's not that.
Well, I did the thing that like Giant Bomb didn't want you to do, is just get a gun and just hide out in a corner and wait for everyone to like run at you. It's like because that's what everyone did. I mean, it was really easy because it worked. I didn't want to get melee weapons.
No, you gotta do proper runs through that thing. Okay, you know what? We've moved.
What about Far Cry 3 in the high 50s or something?
We don't need to move anything else. We've made room.
We have? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Miami down.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. We were only needing to move one more? Okay.
No, we're all fine now.
Okay, so let's start ordering this, because I'm sure the people listening are like, man, I don't even know what they're talking about, but okay.
Okay, so what we're talking about is we've moved Hotline Miami down, we've moved Spec Ops The Line down, we've moved Batman Arkham City down, and we've moved, I think that's...
And Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect, so that's 4. So that's 4 for 4. And meanwhile, we've moved Elder Scrolls 5 up, we've moved Undertale up, we've moved Super Mario Galaxy 2 up, and we've moved Final Fantasy 14 up.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty comfortable with these 26 games that we're looking at right now. So let's put them in order and talk about, what they are and why. So do you want to do what we did last time and start at the bottom kind of and talk about, think about which of these?
It's probably the easiest thing to do.
So we currently got Hellblade at the bottom. I'm pretty comfortable with that, actually.
I think it should go a little higher, like in the 60s or so.
So your argument for Hellblade is that the sound design is amazing. You have to wear headphones and all that stuff. We've talked about that.
The story is very, very good. The mental, you gotta, what game has really gone to the extent that this game has of actually consulting doctors and making sure that everything that is happening in this game would actually be happening to a person that has psychosis? Some of the way that the puzzles are solved would actually be done this way because somebody could be experiencing that. I mean, the way that she experiences hallucinations, the way she experiences being told different parts of the story, it doesn't hold your hand at all. You have to figure out a lot of things, how to do the combat, but when you do, it feels like you are actually living that through her, and that's what really made me, it was one of my favorite games of that year, and it still resonates. And it's the reason Microsoft bought that, The reason why Microsoft bought that studio was what Hellblade did and how it resonated. Yes, Ninja Theory has a record with other games, but that's the reason why Microsoft bought that studio.
I just want to make one brief case against it, why I think it should probably be near the bottom of this list. You want to talk about repetitiveness? Hellblade has 3 different enemy types? Even though it's a short game, you are doing the same kind of combat scenarios.
Okay, but the combat is not the biggest basis of the game. The combat's there, but it is not the main part of that game.
Okay.
Hey, man, it worked for the quiet, man.
Alright, so you want to have this in the 60s, huh? What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know, 65 or something? 60, 67, whatever.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Let's put it at 67 now, and then we'll see what else goes around it. Okay, Nioh, I've talked about Nioh a lot. It's a fantastic Souls-like. It's got an insane combat system. It's super challenging. The art design's great. The level design is fantastic. The DLC is really good. But it's probably kind of towards the bottom of this thing. So, I'm going to put it...
It's iterative, and it's fine.
Alright, I'm going to put it...
Yeah, go on.
Oh, no, please, Mark, sorry.
No, I was going to say, it just doesn't like aside from like the stance changes, it didn't really seem to do much new to me, at least from that genre. But
okay, I'm going to put it at 70 for now, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right, Mark, make the case for Saints Row the Third and where it should be.
50.
No, come on.
It is the best Saints Row game. It's funny as hell. It has great new gameplay systems and like crazy weapons and a lot of charm.
Great character, great voice acting, not just from our intro person, but from everyone else. I think like the actual like gameplay is just fantastic. Like you get immediately overpowered and it becomes like a ton of fun. Yeah, the humor's great. I think everything about the game is just like perfect and spot on.
Yeah, and I can't like the only thing about that game that besmirches it for me a little bit is that the sequels kind of squander a lot of the goodwill that Saints Row the Third built up, but I can't really blame Saints Row the Third for that. We could draw from that as like the DLC for Saints Row the Third is bad, but the DLC for all those games is kind of shitty. Like so. Oh.
Yeah, it's before you really get into let's make the DLC just as good as the game, you know.
Well, also, I think, like, Saints Row, it plays a very fine balance of being grounded, but also being ridiculous, that, like, Saints Row 4 really throws out the window.
I actually agree with Mark. I think this game needs to be, like, near the top of this list, if not at the top of this list.
I don't know about that, though. Like...
Well, you're gonna, I mean, I know how you think. You're gonna want to put, like, more important games on this, like, higher. And it's like,
well, actually, no, because, I mean, I think if we're going to talk about important, like, I don't think Overwatch needs to go past 60. You know, it's not the same game now that it was when it came out in 2016. Like, if it would have stayed the same game, then yes.
Neither was like Final Fantasy 14.
No, but I'm saying it's got worse, not better.
I actually don't agree. I think I started playing it this year for last year. Because of the improvements it's made.
I know, but I mean, like, I'm still saying if it was that important, we'd be talking about moving it up, and we're not. So.
All right, how about this? I'm going to put Saints Row at the top for now, and then we can argue about what's better than Saints Row.
Okay, I do question if we move Tetris Effect down here, do we really need to have both Tetris 99 and Tetris Effect? Like,
you could
they're so different.
You could lower Tetris 99, but I would still put Tetris Effect above it.
I disagree.
Yeah, I do too.
Tetris 99 is an infinitely better Tetris game than Tetris Effect.
It's a different kind of game. It's just, all it is okay, you have a battle royale instead of Tetris Effect, which is just having music that the game goes to music.
Yeah. Who cares about skins?
I would say like Rainbow Six Siege can be like 75, because none of us care.
No, if we're going to talk about an important game over all these
Okay, what game would you want at 75?
I don't.
Let's see here.
We could put Brothers there, or Wolf Among Us there.
Brothers is really touching and very unique in its mechanics.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. Is like we have all these really good games. We got to put somebody there.
I kind of think Brothers hangs around Hellblade.
Okay, that's fine too.
I think it's difficult to argue as much as it's difficult to argue that Hellblade is better.
We can put Spelunky around that region if we want. That's fine too.
Okay.
Maybe Spec Ops around there since y'all lowered it.
I think we could put Spec Ops. Like Spec Ops is just kind of a great version of that Heart of Darkness story in a really competent shooter.
In a video game setting,
Very boring, I think, in Spec Ops.
It's a perfectly fine, perfectly competent shooter. But I mean, boring, that's arguable.
Well,
whatever.
I mean, bog standard, let's say that.
I think Spec Ops should be lower than Neo. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I mean,
fine.
I see it at 75, or, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay,
put it at 75.
Okay, Spec Ops to buy on 75. Okay. All right.
We could put Spelunky at like 72 or something.
Okay, so Spelunky... But here's the thing about Spelunky. Spelunky kind of innovated the roguelike genre.
Yes, it did.
And it also, that...
It has permadeath as well, which...
The daily run thing was a very notable thing in streaming. Like, it's something that kind of everybody did for a while. It had a
and they're making a second one because it became this huge thing.
Yeah. I'm kind of, I don't really want to put Spelunky lower than 60. I don't know if that's...
Well, we gotta pick something. Like, I'm still saying one of the Tetrises could go lower. Pick one.
Well, I said Tetris 99 could be like 69.
Okay. I'll put it right above Neo.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna put Brothers. I would argue that Brothers is probably, as an indie, like, Brothers and Hellblade are kind of neck and neck to me. It's difficult to choose whether it goes below or above Hellblade.
I would say below, because Brothers is, yes, you can experience it. I mean, like Randy said, it's just as good by itself or with another person, but I think I played it with another person, and I felt that it was much more a co-op game, because you're supposed to be trying to put yourselves in the shoes of being those two brothers as well.
Like Randy's point was that controlling two characters at the same time is like a totally different feeling, totally different effect on your brain, or the way that you perceive the mechanics of it.
But I mean, you want to talk about what something does to your brain. I still think about hearing the voices in my head that I did playing Hellblade.
Okay. Okay.
What about Dead Space 2?
I think Dead Space 2 is one of the best kind of survival horror action. Like, everything that was great about it's just everything that Dead Space was already a fantastic game. Like, that was one of the best things that studio, and one of the best things EA had ever put out. And Dead Space 2 just kind of ups it. It ups the production value. That space station is a fantastic setting. The puzzles are really good. The combat's really good. It's just in every way a step up from the first Dead Space.
I can see Dead Space 2 at like 55.
Yeah, I think Dead Space 2 should go really high. Though not as high as Saints Row. Let's put Saints Row above Dead Space 2.
I could also see Batman Arkham City at like 74.
No. It was at 49-4. I don't think we need to put it... You act like it's like that game was a big deal.
It's
not Arkham Knight.
No. Come on.
If the year allowed for, if this was like 1 year before, Batman Arkham Asylum would be on this list and be much, much higher.
Asylum is better.
Huh?
But
yeah,
Arkham City was...
my point.
I don't know, I still loved Arkham City.
Arkham City, I just didn't like getting around that city like half the time. The Catwoman stuff was really contrived and dumb. I mean, maybe like 71 or something, but I mean, I just don't see it. Maybe
I think it's better than Neo.
Really generous, but...
So, Mark, I agree with you personally. I was not particularly hot on Arkham City. However, you look at how everybody else who contributed to these lists ranked it, right? Like, I agree with Sean kind of that we should take into account somewhat where these games started out, because it does reflect everybody's opinion, and people really love Arkham City.
But
so I think we'd be doing it a disservice to put it that low. I mean, I think it should probably be between Dead Space 2 and Hellblade, somewhere in the 60s.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Or maybe 59 or something for now.
Yeah, just put it there for now. Figure it out.
Yeah.
What about Outer Worlds and Outer Wilds? I don't think they need to be that high.
That's true.
I could see Outer Worlds at 71.
That's fine, yeah.
Yep. That's fine.
I mean, so, if somebody didn't, obviously, 2019 just happened, and yes, Outer Worlds is on Game Pass, so probably got played more than, say, some other games, but perhaps people didn't sit there and play Outer Wilds, or Outer Worlds. What would you guys say is what stands out about it?
The writing. I mean, it's an Obsidian, the writing and the setting and the art style. It's Obsidian kind of getting away from Fallout, making a Fallout type game, but, doing it really polished and...
See, I would actually disagree. I just lost track of the story thread. So for me, it was actually the gameplay. The shooting felt great, and the time dilation felt really unique and good, and the physics weren't freaking out all the time. And I would actually put Outer Worlds probably maybe above Fallout New Vegas.
That's actually I was just about to get to, which is we've got two very similar games here from the same developers and the same writing team, essentially. Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas.
I know a lot of people that are probably sitting there going, what the fuck are we thinking right now?
New Vegas has better writing and a better story, but
that's it.
The game engine is too broken in that game for it to really come through.
Yeah, my initial experience with New Vegas is so much worse than Outer Worlds, when it came out, it was already stable and good and not very buggy, at least to me. Whereas Fallout New Vegas is whole main quests that got broken. Depending on what order you did them in, you could completely botch the scripting in that game. So just based on its broken launch, I could see New Vegas going below Outer Worlds. I think in every other way it has more cultural cachet still and more.
That's my thing is right now it's not broken though.
Well, no, but it's been years and years of them patching.
It took 7 years for them to fix it.
It didn't take 7 years for them to fix it. I mean, it's been fixed for a while, probably.
But even on PC, Fallout New Vegas is a fantastic game. But on Xbox 360, it might play fine, but it's still not the game it should have been. Even they say, we kind of screwed up.
I know, but we're judging a game based on people aren't playing it on 360 right now. If they're playing it on something they're playing on Xbox One or PC, that's
Xbox One, it's the same version. It's not there's an Xbox One special.
So even now, it's
the load
broken.
times I think are shorter on Xbox One, but yeah.
Well, the amount of NPCs in the casinos. They literally said, we could not put the 360 just ran out of memory. And I feel they fixed it for Xbox One.
Outer Worlds also has kind of a disappointingly small scale. It's very small, self-contained areas mostly.
But I think that they did that intentionally. It wasn't
Well, yeah, because it was supposed to be a smaller game. Whenever they said don't expect Fallout level open world and all that stuff.
And I think that's the reason it works, because the pigs aren't freaking out because it is a condensed environment.
And it's not doing all the kind of systemic bullshit that Bethesda usually does in those games that doesn't really add anything and breaks a lot of stuff.
I don't know, but Fallout New Vegas is also I know it's a lot of people's favorite Fallout and everything else. It's so weird to say we're having it at 72.
What if we put Fallout New Vegas at 76?
Well,
sorry, 66. I meant 66.
On the original list, Fallout was 73. So it's not that much higher, or it's not
It makes me laugh that he's at 76. I'm sorry.
No, we're not going back to that part of that list.
No, I meant Fallout 76. Well,
yeah.
Oh. So
yeah,
man, that's a complete coincidence.
I would have it lower than Outer Worlds, 72, 73, 74.
All right, just put it at 72 then. Fine.
Okay, I don't like the.
I just don't. I personally haven't played New Vegas, so I'm going by what I've seen and people really loving that game, and you guys don't feel the same way, so.
Let's move everything up one.
Okay.
And stick, because I feel like Bastion. No, how about this? Let's put Wolf Among Us at 71.
Okay, so...
I would have Bastion way higher, so yeah.
Yeah, Wolf Among Us is probably the best Telltale game of all the Telltale games. From a story perspective... No, okay. I'd like to forget that the Game of Thrones game happened, because that was so disappointing. Anyway, it's so boring. But outside of that, Wolf Among Us perhaps has the best story. It's not the most well-known of all the other franchises that Telltale gets to put their hands on later. But, for not being one, I was so captivated by playing as the wolf. I loved all the animal characters. They all have their own personality. I love the pig partner sort of that you have in that game. Some of the twists on that game are really fun.
I think for Wolf Among Us?
Yeah, for Wolf Among Us. Yeah.
I don't think the story killer mystery pans out, but that's not a huge knock against it. I think the game still has a fantastic music, great characters. It's still very, very memorable.
Right.
So yeah, it's fine there. But
yeah.
the whole plot itself, it felt very week, or like it just kind of like passed over like the last episode, or they just they just kind of hand wave it away, but it's still good.
It also felt like they thought that they were going to have a Wolf Among Us 2 made way before. Yeah. It's getting made now, and that's the problem.
Is I think on a cliffhanger.
Exactly. The way that they left it was the feeling of, after the next Walking Dead, the next thing we're going to do is the next Wolf Among Us. And I think after the next Walking Dead is when they went franchise crazy and started getting a hold of all these licenses, and they forgot about Wolf Among Us. So
that worked out for them.
It didn't work out well for them, except for Minecraft.
I want to say just one thing about Game of Thrones, which is that I actually thought the story for the Game of Thrones Telltale game was incredibly compelling, and I really cared about like the mystery of the Grove, and I cared about the trying to keep the family together and saving the family in the face of Ramsay Bolton kind of being truly an existential threat in that game. But what ruined it was just the engine in that game was so fucked. I mean, it's the worst that any Telltale game has ever been.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I get it that like it was sort of aping the show and that it's slow and all that stuff, but it's just, I don't know. It didn't work for me like
the most upsetting thing to me is just how bad the engine was, and then the fact that it ends on a huge cliffhanger which never got resolved. So it just feels like a giant waste of time in retrospect. But anyway, it's irrelevant to this conversation. This notion that it's boring, I didn't think it was boring in the moment at all. I thought it was pretty tense and exciting in the moment. It's just that it came to nothing in the end,
How about Hearthstone, pretty down there in the list?
I don't think Sean is going to allow that. I would like Hearthstone to be pretty low here, but
I see 3 Blizzard games in this list, and 2 of them are like a lot more than Hearthstone.
I mean, StarCraft 2 definitely should be way higher.
Yeah.
Kind of got it at 72, which...
But it's kind of... The only one thing, too, is we're also... Sadly, we're having to judge 2 games against 1 for StarCraft 2. So, then, because the third one was just... Nobody cared by the time that third one came out.
I played and beat all 3 of those games. I liked all 3.
I know, but that's the problem. We're judging StarCraft 2 on 3 games and everything else is
I'm
one.
still judging StarCraft 2 kind of on the first one, if anything.
Yeah, that was the good one, the human campaign.
Yeah. Because I had Jimmy Raynor. That's all you need.
I think that alone... And it's, even though it has tapered off as a multiplayer game, it was a big esports thing for a while. Let's put StarCraft 2 above Batman for now. What do you guys think?
Okay, that's fine.
All right. No, Mark, sorry.
I would say I really like the game, but to break some impasses here, I would say either like the 73, 74, because no one's going to agree with me. I would say Limbo or FTL.
I don't want to move Limbo down that much.
I really like FTL, but that could go down.
Honestly, I think FTL should be above Limbo.
I agree. But, where do they rank is the... Alright, firstly...
Okay.
How do you feel about what Mark was proposing before, which is Hearthstone at 73?
That's fine. Whatever. Fine.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's like the card game, but none of us are into it. And
I was, when it came out, until the meta changed and it became too much and I couldn't keep up with it anymore. But
it did what every other card game did, but it did it a lot quicker. Like they kept introducing more and more cards.
I stayed with it through the first story thing, and then after that it was like, oh, I'm getting whooped every time I play. This isn't fun anymore. And you're also having to buy card packs because I couldn't keep up with people, and then even then when you bought card packs, you weren't getting enough good stuff.
That's the Magic the Gathering model right there for you.
All right, hear me out here. How about this? Tetris Effect 74.
No.
I think Tetris Effect goes...
Tetris 99. Look, if you want to move Tetris 99 to 74, Tetris Effect set to 68, then sure, but...
I'm still playing Tetris 99. After I put like 10 hours into Tetris Effect, I was done with it.
I played a lot of Tetris Effect, and I don't play Tetris that much.
The only reason I'm playing Tetris 99 now is to get...
you keep getting sweet skins.
Well, every other weekend or every month or so, but that's it. Like, I'm not playing it every day.
Well, I'm not playing anything every day. Got too much to do in my life. Okay.
I mean, I could see Hotline Miami moving down.
I don't really want to move Hotline Miami. I think Hotline Miami is truly great. A truly great game.
Well, okay, we have one spot at the bottom. What would everyone move down there?
We could grab everything from Hellblade to Hearthstone and just move it down a spot.
That's fine too. You could do that.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, Hearthstone is now 74 and Hellblade is now 67.
Okay.
So that means 66 we can put Tetris Effect. That way we're technically above Tetris 99.
Okay. Whatever, guys. We're getting too... I don't even know why we need to have both of them, but that's...
Because they have very different aims.
We're still playing Tetris here.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about most, Mario's or Uncharted. You don't need to have Uncharted or Last of Us because they're both third-person action games.
Oh, that's not true, though. We're not even talking about...
They're made by the same developers.
Yes, but we're talking about two different absolute...
Well, it's like Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas are
yeah, exactly. Then we might as well not have...
I would rather kick Fallout New Vegas off that list than...
No.
We cannot kick Fallout New Vegas off that list.
No.
It's too
okay,
important.
so...
Anyway, Tetris is an important enough game that it's fine to have two Tetrises in the top 100.
Okay, so Spelunky or Bastion... or you know what? Put...
I think Bastion should be like one of the top games on this list, actually.
You want to put Spelunky
put Spelunky at... Fine, just put it there.
Spelunky at 66, Tetris Effect
Yeah,
65?
put it there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so my idea would be put Fortnite at like 60.
Okay. That's fine.
Well, I don't know. If we're gonna put one of those games there for, I think Fortnite should go to Overwatch. So where we're gonna put Overwatch, Fortnite should go there.
I mean,
above it.
We could put Overwatch between Fortnite and Tetris Effect.
Well, I would have both those games still above Rainbow Six Siege, though.
Okay. Then how about Rainbow Six Siege at 64? I mean, what I would say is that Six Siege proved to Ubisoft that you can continue to improve a game and it catches fire. And it has, and it's still one of the most lucrative games out there. People are still buying into it every frickin' season. It's one of the biggest multiplayer things that exists. I mean, it's a really good for what it is. They tried that. It's honestly what saved the Tom Clancy franchise, because outside of like Wildlands, the Division has been kind of whatever, and Ghost was a Breakpoint was bad, and
oh yeah, I mean, but don't forget they ruined a good Tom Clancy game by making Siege.
Okay, but people are loving Siege, so, obviously we can say that they might have ruined the single-player aspect of it or whatever, but...
That's what I care about.
Siege is its own thing.
If there was a Siege, for me, I really wanted, a Rainbow Six Vegas 3. So I could play with, friends, maybe 2 or 4 man co-op and that's it.
But out of those shooter ongoing games... Yeah. I think there's more people playing Rainbow Six Siege than there is Destiny. Or, I don't really ever hear people complaining about Six Siege like you hear people complaining about Destiny, you hear people complaining about, all the, some of these other ones. So.
It just bums me out because it's not the Rainbow Six game that I personally would want, but I understand why it is here and where it is. I think we're good with everything from 64 to 75. I think we could consider pretty much.
Okay, where do you want to have Dragon Ball FighterZ?
That's a question for Mark.
I would say maybe 56.
Okay, so let's under Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know people probably know what Dragon Ball FighterZ is, but
it uses the Guilty Gear Zerd engine, so it's 3D, but it's on a 2D plane. It has characters you care about, which is what Guilty Gear doesn't have. It has a decent story. It just has a ton of good Dragon Ball moments. It's very, very nice to look at. It looks better than the show. It has everything I want. And the only wonky part is their lobby system is nuts. But I think they finally fixed that.
Yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ is also our only traditional fighting game in the list. So
it's damn sure it's not going to be Street Fighter 5 or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah, I'm sure there's Mortal Kombat fans that probably are screaming.
Yeah, my
that,
problem with Mortal Kombat is they're just very interchangeable. Like, especially these, like, last three. Like, I'm sure, yes, to, like, a diehard fan, like, there are tons of different...
I love watching the stories of those games. Like, I don't care about fighting, but I can watch those stories and just laugh and enjoy them for what they are.
Right. But I think this, even as a pure fighting game, like Dragon Ball FighterZ is better than any Mortal Kombat.
Okay, so...
Only
for me...
left.
Okay, for me, I think Assassin's Creed Brotherhood should be 50. If not higher, to me. This is our Assassin's Creed game. Like...
I would only be okay with that if Saints Row 51.
Oh, come on.
Sure.
Like, really?
Move. Okay.
I mean, yeah, because, like, these other games, the only games I care about for the rest of this list would be Bastion. Like, FGL is cool, and I like playing Overwatch, but I don't care about Outer Wilds. I never played it. I didn't really like Limbo. I didn't play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Hotline Miami's fine, but I just kind of got bored because I just did the same thing over and over. Like, it didn't, encourage, the level design didn't encourage, for me, experimentation.
So
you do have to, yes, there's a correct way to do it, right? But it's figuring out that way and then being accomplished that. And also the story in Hotline Miami is really good, I thought.
Yeah. I loved experimenting with all the different weapons and paths through levels and all that stuff in Hotline Miami. I did not play it in a reductive way like Mark did, and I think it's one of the best designed kind of arcade action games I've ever played.
I mean, this is about a different podcast, but I think Jeff on the Bombcast said he played through BioShock with just the wrench. He just powered the hell out of that thing because it was the easiest way to get through that game, and that's how I played Hotline Miami. I mean, if you do it right, yeah, because he played it and he beat it, so...
All right. So we've all played Bastion, all three of us, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
So we all agree it's Supergiant Games' masterpiece.
Yes.
The isometric graphics are beautiful.
The music is really good. I love the narrator.
Soundtrack. Yeah, it's high 50s, or, between
52. What do you guys think?
Yeah, 52.
Okay. I'm glad that's not too controversial.
I would put,
Sean, where do you see Xenoblade?
We can put Xenoblade at 61. The thing about Xenoblade is, yes, I think people are probably that are loving Xenoblade are sitting here going, why 2? Not 1. I know the gacha mechanic for I forgot what they're actually, the Guardians, or I don't know, I forgot what their actual name is. Mm. But the thing is, if you really look at it, it looks like they're remaking Chronicles 1 in the Chronicles 2 style. And the Chronicles 2 style is really, I think, what hit people. I mean, obviously it helps it's on Switch. Mm. But that game, I love the way it tells its story. I think, those characters stand out to me a lot more. And this is somebody that played 2 and then went back and played 1. So 1 would have been a lot fresher in my mind. I love Shulk. I think he's better than Rex as a main character, but the rest of the cast, I cared way more about the Chronicles 2 cast than I cared about the Chronicles 1 cast. And the cast is what makes the game to me. And, I like the Chronicles 2 fighting system is a bit more it's easier to get into than the first one. Mm-hmm. And the way you gain levels and then just making those, Guardian things, feel like they're all kind of important to that crew. I mean, you can also get Cosmos and other, cool characters that are sort of in that same realm. Which helps a lot. I just, I liked it more than 1. So don't hate me too much, people that love 1 and wanted it to be the thing on here, but.
Yeah, we should reiterate our point from the last episode, which is that we've cut certain redundant, or what we consider to be, redundant.
Basically, we took a series that the sequel was very similar, or continued the story, or whatever, and said, okay, we're gonna pick one to represent that series. So Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was the representative over 4, and they discussed that last time. Why? And Xenoblade 2 was the representative over Xenoblade 1, and Chronicles X didn't even make the final 100, so that couldn't be in the conversation.
I love that one.
I love all 3 of those games. I hope X gets the same treatment that 1 does and gets to be on the Switch at some point. I'd hate for that not to see the light of day again, but I would put Outer Wilds at 63, and that's fine. Outer Wilds is a great exploration game. It takes some time to understand it. It does not hold your hand. There's a lot of times where you're lost. Once you do a couple of time loops though, you start getting it, and you start realizing that you need to talk to people on those planets. And then once you do, you start figuring out things about those planets and about the world and about where the little aliens come from. And I love the music in that game as well. And I love just exploring some of those places. It's really fun to do. But yes, it's not the easiest game to figure out what's going on, and I think that might be something that hinders it for anybody that says, that goes, oh, it's on Game Pass, and oh, this game is great, but oh shit, I don't know where I'm doing. And I think that is a problem for many people, I'm sure. Yeah. So I'm guessing that means Overwatch would have to go in 62 then.
You guys are the ones who've played it. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote it up initially as a Team Fortress clone, or Team Fortress 2 clone, but I did get into it pretty well 2019. I like it. There are a lot of analogs to Team Fortress 2 guys, but they do have a lot of unique twists on certain characters or certain archetypes, which is pretty fun.
Okay. I trust you guys on this.
I might have Limbo at 57, but that's me. I just didn't like it that much.
Yeah, I would say Limbo at 57 is fine. I really like that game. It sticks with you. It took me a while to get over the whole, this is a kid that's dying in some vicious ways.
The thing that immediately pulled me in. I was really pleased seeing all the deaths.
Yeah. It's a very hard game.
I love the black and white art style.
Agreed.
I think the puzzle design is really good for the first 2/3 of that game. It falls apart a little bit for me towards the end, but it was just a really, as far as like that kind of indie platformer, and of course we've already talked about how like it's gotten ported pretty much everywhere and has had a lot of staying power. So I think 57 I wouldn't want to have it any lower, so I like where we've put it actually.
And then I guess that means I would put FTL above Hotline Miami.
That's fine.
Yep.
I mean, I personally like Hotline Miami better, but they're kind of equal to me in terms of standing.
FTL is more sci-fi, so it wins.
Actually, do you guys, how about this? Let me propose one more thing. Can we move Dead Space 2 up above both of those?
Yes,
I just feel like Dead Space 2 is just an amazing game. Like, especially like if you're talking about like stuff that is in the style. You love that Resident Evil 2 remake. I mean, Dead Space 2 is kind of like does all those things.
Yeah, I mean, people wish that Dead Space 3 would have been able to be more Dead Space 2, and it wasn't, unfortunately. So
yeah, well, but we won't hold that against Dead Space 2.
Yeah. So all right,
this looks good to me.
Done this pretty painlessly.
Sure.
Once again.
A little more painful the last time. It's getting harder as we're going up.
Oh, certainly. Hey, we did it in about the same amount of time as the other one, so we're doing good with these. So alright. So from 75 to 50, here's how we land, to finish out this show. Spec Ops The Line, Hearthstone, Fallout New Vegas, Wolf Among Us, Outer Worlds, Neo, Tetris 99, Brothers of Tale 2 Sons, Hellblade, Spelunky, Tetris Effect, Rainbow Six Siege, Outer Wilds, Overwatch, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fortnite, Batman Arkham City, StarCraft 2, Limbo, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Hotline Miami, FTL, Dead Space 2, Saints Row the Third, and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I'm sure there are people just absolutely... Bastion. Oh, Bastion. I'm sorry. Bastion, Saints Row the Third, and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So, yeah, I'm sure there's people absolutely pulling their hair out, going, what the hell, where you guys have some of these games. Hey... No,
this is reasonable. This is a reasonable list.
We gotta, we gotta make tough decisions somewhere, you know. If you, however you feel, you know, you can let us know. WTMNetwork@gmail.com. That's our email. You can hit us up each individually on Twitter at WTMSean, at HumanityPlague, at Aperture Silence to let us know what you think of the list so far. And if we make some grave errors, of course, let us know as well. You know, we're not going to fix it, but hey, you can still let us know. That's it for 50 to 75. The next one is going to be 49 to 26. So, yeah. We'll see you later, everybody.